up, y'all? Back again with another video for Bitcoin. Look at where we at right now. $17,182. We just created a lower low. So technically the bears were correct. We did form a lower low. Now, you know, we don't necessarily have to come down to the levels that they're calling for. Like, for example, they're calling for a drop to around $10,000, and that's based off of this pattern right here. Connect all the lows, connect all the highs, and pretty much, as you see, this right here, and actually we can bring it up here. This pole gets dropped down here, and this would be the target. So we have a $12,000 target if we continue downward. Now, say if Bitcoin decides to start rising back up and gets above the low back in June and gets back in the channel around 18,900, then clearly, you know, we could head up higher from there, and we would just take the tops and the lows from this candle over here and add it over here. And now the target on the upside would be around $22,000. So we're technically still not done. We just have to figure out if this candle right here, if the next candle can become green, and then we start to head up higher from here. Now, let's take a Fibonacci retracement tool from this low. This is the first major drop that we had, that was indicating that a correction in the market was about to come. So let's take a Fibonacci from the lowest low over here and just drag it up to the high. Now this downside target, I had a downside target of $17,846, give or take, somewhere around there. Mark this horizontal line, and as you see, we are currently around that target. Now let's pull out a measurement ruler. Currently underneath that target by 3.3%. It's not the end of the world, but of course we will want to see prices get above that 17,846 target. Let's look back in the past to see if like that happened before. Like if I'm able to pull this Fibonacci from this low all the way up to the high to see if, you know, we get any confluence, to see if in previous markets that was the bottom. So let's even go over here. Back in 2019, 2020 market, when Bitcoin was around 14,000 and then came down to 4,000, I would say the increase and then the first major drop would be around here, either here or here. Let's just take it here just to see what happens. Bam. And look at the 1.618. It was saying at the bottom right here was 4,050. So let's go ahead and mark horizontal line. Bam. And the price of Bitcoin went to 4,000. So that was slightly, you know, that was pretty much on point. I was about to say slightly off, but that was pretty much on point. So we have two times where this Fibonacci strategy has worked, pulling it from the low all the way up to the high, and it pretty much gives you the 1.6 million on the downside. That's why we rolled over here, and this is where we're at currently. Now, once again, I said that we have to get above the 17,700 target. Just like over here, we needed to stay around the 1.618, which is 4,050. Went up, rolled over, bam, target. Increase from there, blast off. And that, now let's see if we can have, if we see any confluence with the previous market. Increase. We have a drop down to hit this level around here. So let's pretty much take the fib from, one of these targets to all the way up here to see if we get a 1.618 fib around this range or whatever. Bam. And this right here is actually saying 2,783. Now, here we didn't even touch it. We stayed above that 1.618 by a mere, let's see, target was down here, but we only went to 3,200. So we were off by about 15% based off of that strategy right there. And let's go back to the 2014 cycle. This more than likely was the first drop. We were increasing. And of course we came all the, down here on this exchange. I'm not sure if we actually hit this price, but let's just pull it from here. And the 1.618. Yep. Look at that. Mark our horizontal line. Bam. It was saying that once we hit a price of 1,000, close to $1,200, we were going to touch $157. And that's eventually what we did. We actually went to 166. So it was off slightly, but as you see, it was pretty much close to the 1.618 target. 161. So that was closer right there. Now, let's go back to current prices. As you see, Bitcoin was at what, 17,100 when I started making this video, I think. Let's go down to a smaller time scale. We're on the weekly right now. Let's go to the 1 day. I want to get, smaller candles. I want to until I get a green. Let's go to the 2 hour. And since I'm here, I might as well go to the hour. All right, so trying to look for a reversal candle. Right now we are having trouble getting above. We need one of these candles to, okay, right here, this is looking like a double bottom is potentially forming over here. So over here we were at 16,950, and over here 16,960. So as long as we get and we stay above these levels, we should be good to hit up higher. So just say if this is the bottom, and after everything that I've said plays out, then the next target should be at least the 0.5 Fibonacci, 18,736, pretty much getting us back up to where we were around in the video from yesterday. The 0.618 is at 19,184. So we have a potential of getting back up there once again if prices stay at the levels that we are at. And if we get above the 0.618, then we could more than likely hit up to around $23,000. Let's mark these. Bam, let's delete. All right. Let's go to the 1 day. And I do understand that there is no support pretty much all in this area. So from 17,000 to about 12,000, there is really no support. But just like the previous market cycles, people were calling for $1,000 Bitcoin when it was, coming from $100. After it hit 20,000, they were calling for a $1,000 Bitcoin. But just think about all of this price action. We were increasing all the way up here. We have no support around here, and Bitcoin never came back down to those levels. That's where I'm trying to get at. So we just pretty much got to be patient. Once again, this Fibonacci strategy, may or may not play out, but in the past it's been playing out almost perfectly. And just say if this high isn't the actual high, just say if I need to bring it up to the high that it made at 69,000 back in November, then this brings the 1.618 down to $17,162, and currently we're at 17,147. We're pretty much right around that range. So I could actually mark this, and now we have two ranges in which Bitcoin needs to stay around before we see any more bullish action. Since Bitcoin did create a lower low, if this area is the bottom, then we take a Fibonacci from top all the way to the bottom, the lowest price that it made, leave that there, and we mark our 0.5 Fibonacci, which is sitting at $34,200. Our 0.618 Fib is sitting at 40,000 now. And our 1.618 Fibonacci has increased from 160,000, give or take, to 165,000. These are the potentials that we have if we start to head up. Now, if we do see any lower price than the 17,100 and the 17,000 target, let's just call it that, make it even, make it easy, then we have a potential of pretty much coming down to these targets. So what you do is you take a Fibonacci from the lowest low of the market cycle, from the previous market cycle, which was that $3,200. Take a Fibonacci from that low and drag it all the way up to the highest price. And all we do is look at the 0.618 Fib. Now the 0.618 Fib, let me delete all this other stuff. The 0.618 Fib is, oops, sorry, I deleted the wrong one. Let's do it over. So if we take a Fibonacci from this low to this high, and then we look at the 0.618 Fib, this Fibonacci is showing $10,000. So this is pretty much where all of the people that are calling for, those levels underneath 20,000, that's why they're calling for a $10,000 Bitcoin, because this Fibonacci lines up right there. So now let's delete that. That's one of the targets that we could hit, $10,000. Now, say if the $17,000 target is the spot that we stay above, because this technically could be a double bottom, just like this was a double top. Nobody thought it was because it created a higher high, but at the same time, this is a technical double top, just like this right here. You know, we created a lower low, but at the same time, it's not that drastically far from the low that we created back in June. So just say if we're more bullish than bearish, we take a Fibonacci from the highs now and drag that all the way to that low back in 2019, 2018 that we had, the $3,200 level. And now we look at the 0.618 fib. And this is saying $21,287. So now this is showing that we're technically supposed to be here. So now we're only off by 19%. So let's see if we can swoop back into this 0.618 Fibonacci. And all Bitcoin needs to do is increase by 20% to get back into that range. So this is pretty much what I'm looking at. Let's actually drag this Fibonacci over a little bit. All right, so once again, if we get above or stay above these targets, $17,000 and $17,700, then we are able to head up higher to these targets. Remember, the first target we need to get above is well, once we get above these targets, we can head up to 18,900, get above and head up to the target of 22,000, get above this support or this resistance level at 23,000. And this upside 0.618 is sitting at 40,000. 0.5 is at 34. And the ultimate target, if the bull run and all that keeps going, then we head up to $165,000. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I know these videos be a little bit long, but you know, I try to show y'all just what I'm seeing in the markets. Oh, and real quick, seeing that's why, you know, sometimes longer videos not necessarily that bad. It's right here. Bam. Bam. We had a lower low. But guess what? We went from $158 all the way up to $20,000. So I feel like we might be in, you know, everybody's focused on what we did back in 2018, 2019, although I would rather us, you know, have made this structure as well, but doesn't necessarily mean that we have to come down to those $10,000 targets and $7,000 targets that everybody's calling out for. Still be patient in the markets, and let's go Bitcoin.